Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, Joyce. We had some i- um, technical issues as per usual. Okay, we are in the mercy of internet. So if I will disappear, Joyce will take over. Here is our just a conversation, and we are. This one is the first one, and we kicking with this just a conversation where we are going to talk about our personal challenges and wins, business wins and challenges, everything human, everything business, everything about everything. So I am not going to introduce myself, but I am going to ask Dr. Joyce to introduce her first and share with us, whoever is watching, her story and how she and that sounds a bit funny, how she came to this very point in her life. What happened?
Thank you,
Joyce?
Lolita. Thank you. I am delighted to be here. Um, thought the thought we had it sussed with the internet stuff, all prepared, all organized, of course. Anyway, not to worry. I'm a Canadian in Scotland, and here's my story. My real career began when I decided to become a dentist at age 28. I'd already had all the jobs in a dental office up to that point. I'd been the receptionist, I'd been the assistant, I'd been the hygienist. But I used to sit across from the dentist and think, my goodness, there has got to be a better way to do this, because I was watching patients distressed, anxious, terrified, and it wasn't being addressed. So I went back to dental school and I graduated at age 34 and immediately moved countries. Immediately had to redo my exams. It was insanity. And yes, there was a man involved. But the best was yet to come, actually, because I was in Scotland and I was working in the children's department at Dundee Dental Hospital. And now I was in the dentist chair. I was using all my tricks and I was watching children with dental anxiety, phobia, fear. They were terrified. And again, I thought, there's got to be a better way to do this. I didn't believe that sedation was the answer. I didn't believe in drugs. It's quite risky, actually, sedating children.
Is it?
So
Okay.
a gift came from the universe in the form of an opportunity, and that was to study cognitive and behavioral psychotherapy with an option to do research on children with dental cognitions and dental anxiety. It was fabulous.
Jesus, Jesus, I will interrupt. I have chills. You know that when you say you tell the story, I have chills. Like you say, gift from universe. I think everything happens for a reason. So whatever that gift was, it was at the right time, and it
It
was
was, and
meant
it
for you.
was because it wasn't pursued. It was literally, do you want to do this? I was like, do I want to do this? Yes, I want to do this. And then after I graduated from doing and the research was fascinating, probably one of my favorite parts of my life. I got the opportunity to work with a clinical psychologist. We opened a dental anxiety clinic for children, and I was in my happy place. It was fabulous. But there were more curveballs to be received. We decided to move back to Canada. And
Okay.
then I decided to open my own dental practice. And my learning curve was absolutely 90 degrees. The dentistry was fine, but I had no clue about the business of dentistry. And if you don't do the business, you can't do the dentistry. So I struggled with all the demons, the inner critic, imposterism, not good enough. I questioned all my decisions. I overanalyzed things. But what do you do? It seemed to me there were no options, so I struggled. And 15 years later, I sold it. I sold the practice. And I vowed I would never, ever work again. I was so done. And then I read about life coaching and I had to look it up. I didn't know what it meant. I'd never encountered the term before. I thought it was an odd term, to be honest. Who coaches people on life, right? Weird. I completed my training in life coaching and I thought, oh my God, this is fabulous. It's effective. It's forward focused. It's positive. Honestly, it was a few of the things that cognitive behavior is not. And I jumped in with both feet. And now I feel like I can help those women with those demons because I know those demons really well. I've been there and I know there's a different way. And I know you can control those thoughts. You can change them. You can change the tune and you benefit and your business benefits. That's me.
That's amazing, amazing story. Still, I'm still having chills. And on that note, I will introduce myself in a minute, but I want to share one quote that I have it all the time, and I used to have in my office, but now my office is under renovation for I don't know how many months. So this quote is like this: "What you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create." I got that somewhere on the internet. I don't know who
Love it.
credit for this, but I think this is exactly summarize what you are doing right now. And
Mhm.
and those demons, I will stop that now. Those demons, whatever is the label, we all have them. Um, Destructive thoughts, inner critic, whatever it is, it's just you know yourself, Joyce. It's just a label, but these things are very real, and they can jeopardize our moving forward. So my story actually was a bit maybe different, of course, but it was a man involved as well, actually two men. First one divorced me, and then I met a second one, and I had to and I moved to Norway. So I'm in Norway now. You are in Scotland. We all, like travelers a bit, world travelers. And but wh- I started to take my business serious when my mom died, or my mom was transitioning, and that was I think in 2020. All this shaban with pandemic, as we call it, or whatever. Um, then I started to take my business seriously because what happened? My mom was dying. She sort of knew she was dying of cancer. Nobody was treating her because she didn't have COVID. And so she was dying, and one day or one evening I had a conversation with her. And then she said, like, I probably will die now soon. I said, no, mom, you are not, that thing. But she said, you know what? I do have some regrets. And I said, okay, let's talk about it. And she said, I regret to this very day that I never followed my dreams. And so I said, okay, so mom, so what was your dream actually? We never had that conversation like to that extent. And she said, I always wanted to be a singer. She always wanted to be a singer, and she actually was very good, apparently. She was singing in the local, whatever it's band or ensemble, whatever you call it. And she was actually traveling at the time we belonged to Soviet Union. So she was traveling, even touring around Soviet Union and singing with this band. And then even she told me stories then whenever she was walking on the street in her local town, actually it was town, not village, people used to stop her and say, when are you going to perform again? So she wanted to be a singer. She had skills,
Mhm.
but she felt she didn't have support.
Mhm.
And so because she needed to move from this little town 200 kilometers away to the capital where the music academy was, she was afraid she will not make it. And she, of course, she didn't have support, but she never even tried. So that my question to her was, I know this dream is amazing, but did you even try to live your dream? And she said, no, I didn't. I haven't. And this is was like sort of amplifier for me to take a bit
Mhm.
my business seriously, because before I was like part-time coaching, part-time consulting, part-time working for somebody, and that was like sort of shook my ground. And I then sat and I thought about how many of us gave up on our dreams, just literally.
Mhm. Yep.
How many of us do not go and even try
Mhm.
because we believe whatever we believe, and beliefs are sometimes good, as you know, Joyce. Sometimes beliefs protects us from whatever could happen, but so often we never try. And in that very moment I thought I have to do something about it. And that's why I chose to help solopreneurs, women solopreneurs, where everybody, even at that time, my business coach, he said, yeah, but corporation pay more money. And yes, I know that. But for some reason I kept seeing my mom in whatever deathbed, whatever it's called. And I just thought, no, I cannot work with corporations. I sometimes do work, I do training, but my preference is women solopreneurs, Joyce, to help them like my
Mhm.
mom never was helped, to help them to really to believe in themselves, have a bit of plan, and follow and live their passions, and of
Mhm.
course monetize it. So my experience is a bit, I have a lot of hats, not just like a business owner, but I worked for somebody, then I was part-time doing business. But now for a couple of years, like 4 years, I no less than 4 years, I'm really doing it just as my business,
Mhm.
very seriously. Still have some moments when I think, okay, like discipline sometimes is an issue, as you know. I'm very free spirit. I can float a bit, being distracted, but this is my business and this is my mission, to help other women to build their business and trust their business and trust their skills that they can do it,
Mhm.
and that support is there. So this is me, and I don't know if I this is a perfect introduction, but we are not doing anything perfect. So how
Perfect
did
doesn't
we
exist.
meet? Yeah, how did we meet, Joyce? How did we meet? And what happened? We met somewhere, I know, and you can elaborate on that. But what happens when two like-minded people come together?
Fireworks. I think it's fireworks. So
Fireworks.
we met networking on 4N. And I remember actually the very first time that I met you, the next day I got something from Norway and I thought, what, Norway? What? And I asked you about it later and you said, oh, I must have just, I don't know, sent it Binaire or something. I thought, okay. But then we continued to meet each other networking and we continued to hear how similar yet slightly different our approaches are. And the more we met and the more we talked and the more we listened, we realized there's something here. There's something here.
Ab-
Maybe there's something here that will make someone follow their dream. Ooh, wouldn't that be nice?
Absolutely. Again, I have chills. I don't know. Maybe it's just some frequencies today, but I have chills. So the minute I joined this live, I absolutely. You see, this is the thing. I think that many people or many business owners in any industry, when they meet um, other business owners, they maybe sometimes think that this is a competition, some sort of competition. And I think this is what we are trying to do, you and I. We're trying to dissolve that myth, to dissolve that belief, because even if we are in the same industry, we still can collaborate, and we can create something, some projects, some and add value to other people. Even if we would absolutely do the same things, we are not doing the same things, but there is no competition. I think this competition was brought at some point in life to all of us, because somebody wanted us to believe that there is a scarcity, that you need to compete, because like the all days, the hunters, they had to compete for their land, for they had to compete for whatever they were hunting. So I think that came from there, but we are not living in those times anymore. And if
Mhm.
we would, each of us, and I'm not talking about us, but I'm talking in general, if everybody would look at each other and would see the collaborant, the partner inside, in each other, I think we would be living almost in heaven at this point.
Yeah, it's such a different energy, isn't it? Because there is the competition. I will admit to being a competitive person. It's just how I am. I don't know. I think it's honestly a bit of the male energy going on.
Hmm.
But when you shift from that and you actually work towards collaboration, it is more positive. It's much more building. It's almost like competition takes it away, whereas collaboration adds it. So you grow with collaboration, but I think you diminish oftentimes with competitiveness. And and really, who wants to diminish, right? You want to grow, you want to rise, you want to blossom. And I'm not sure where it comes from, but I believe that it is a very actually unhelpful state, is competition.
Yeah, I think it is. It doesn't help, and it's actually not very healthy, as you say. Definitely, and yeah, and who knows where this thing come from? But now we know, and so we can address that. I'm very competitive person as well, especially when I play Uno with my friend. She just sometimes, she wants to win, but I want to win even more, and I usually win. Uno, oh my God. I just actually, I'm going to meet my friend in 2 weeks, and I'm bringing Uno again. Also, I probably will not have time for Uno cards, but I just will have it in my in my bag in case, just in case we have time anyway. But in business, yes, in business, I think it's too much competition, and then businesses tend to uh, uh, create this culture of greed-based culture. Everything
Mhm.
greed based, and I don't want that as well. I want to change this landscape of greed-based businesses, because I do believe there is enough for everyone. Like, come on, we have how many now people? How many people live in the world? 8 billion, something around that. So, like, honestly, even if some people live in some disadvantaged areas, we have enough of everything. It's just this
Mhm.
scarcity mentality.
Yes, and it is that I believe it's the scarcity that's fed by the competition, or they feed each other, and collaboration actually feeds abundance and
Exactly.
positivity, and that is where it's at. There's no question in my mind about that. There
Absolutely.
is abundance, and there's loads of it, and there's lots of different opportunities and options and people for everyone. As we're talking
Absolutely.
about monetizing, I mean, of course, we are in business to monetize and to help
Yeah,
and to grow, but there is an abundance of offers and people out there that we can help.
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So, what are we going to do with our just a conversation in the future? We are going to, um, and correct if me if I am wrong, but we are going to talk about areas that and challenges and wins that we experience in day-to-day business and life
Mhm.
environments. Then we will have some guests. Are we planning to have some guests as well? Yes.
Mhm. Yes, definitely.
And what do you want to add,
Well,
Joyce?
I really think that we can look at some basic concepts, because you and I will have just a slightly different take on them. And I think it's really going to be worthwhile to explore those different perspectives on, things like the inner critic, things like the business. I mean, you are, a business coach, but I am sort of the psychology side. So I think that our emphasis will give a really interesting solution, I don't know, perspective, definitely, to people, to anyone who wants to listen. And we mentioned one tip, I think, because I'm hugely practical
Yes.
about life and business. So
Yes.
let's end maybe with one tip that you would like to share, and I'll share one.
Well, okay. No, tip from me. Would be this. Actually, I didn't prepare my tip because I thought we will share one tip, but we can share two tips. That's no problem. It's no problem. Like, I have plenty of tips. I am very much about having structures and having some sort of plan in business, not in life, because I do believe we have to be adventurous. So we have to be a bit these three spirits, but maybe I'm wrong. It's just me. But in business, you wake up and you need to know what is going to happen in your business today. So that means if you cannot have a plan for a year, that's okay. Not everybody needs that. Depends on the size of the organization, but at least have a plan for one day. And then that one day become 2 days, and that then 2 days become 3 days, and then you will have plan for a week, and then you will have plan for a month. So it's very important every evening before you go to bed, or you close your computer, you finish your work, because we are solopreneurs, so usually maybe some of us work 24/7. I hope we don't, but so before we close our computer and put it on mute everything, look at the things you are going to do tomorrow. Write it down. Not everything. This is not to-do list. It has to be like more practical. And say, for example, like I can give an example. So tomorrow, what is Friday? So Friday from 9 to 10, I will be answering emails. The hour goes, I just then move to a different task. I do not answer all my emails. If I can answer all my emails in 1 hour, I do that. Then I go and answer maybe LinkedIn messages. I don't do that every day, but say on Friday from 10 to 11, I will be working with the messages on LinkedIn. So have a plan, write it down, because once we write something down, it's already half the job is done. Believe me. And sometimes, as we believe in universe or God or whoever, when we write it down, we send that signal that yes, I'm very serious. God, universe, you gave me this business, or you gave me this body, this this energy. I'm very serious about that, and this is what I need to do. Please support me. That's the message up there. So this is why just have at least one day plan. What are you going to do tomorrow? Maybe just work with administration, paperwork. That's fine. Write it down and know that you are going to do, and then stick to it. Unless it's the life-threatening situation, we need to be flexible. So that's me. Have at least a plan for one day if you don't want to go into all this planning, because it could be heavy. And I acknowledge that.
Yeah, great. I love the idea of you don't have to plan like the full year, just one day. I'm a huge believer in the salami technique, right? You just take one bite of the large salami and deal with that one little slice. And that's exactly what you're saying. And that is how you move forward. Growing your business, right?
Yes.
The end thing is you want to grow your business. You start with that. Okay. So my tip,
Your
completely.
tip?
I think this is great. This is us, right? To a T. My tip is to stop everything and time yourself for 5 minutes, a timed 5 minutes, and sit. This is not a meditation. This is just a sit in quiet. And you'll have all kinds of different thoughts that will be bubbling through your head. That's fine. You just let them pass and slide like clouds. And I want you to listen. for those 5 minutes to yourself. And I would hope that in that 5 minutes, you might hear a voice of gratitude. You might hear something that's been trying to speak to you, but you've been too busy and things are too noisy for you to hear it. Your intuition, something that says to you where you're going, what you're doing, or simply, you're doing great. And 5 minutes of pausing in silence is so short, but I believe it can be really, really effective. That's my tip.
That's amazing tip. So now we can combine both of these tips, So for tomorrow
Yep.
is still a working day for some of us. So plan your day and block from 5 to 10 minutes simply to stop, do nothing, and breathe and listen to yourself. So you see, we can combine planning and practical tips of stopping. Everything can be in one.
Yeah, I'm going to do your tip and I'm going to do my tip.
Absolutely. I am going to do your tip the minute we will finish this live because I think it's a great tip and we just forget. We just forget that, we don't need these massive tools, massive
Exactly.
frameworks. It's just so simple. Like, let's simplify life, let's simplify business because we need to enjoy life and we need to enjoy business. Like, I didn't start my business. I know I started, I have my reasons, my mother and similar reasons, but I want to live as well. I want to have fun. That's why we created it and we started this just a conversation so we can share this some different side of business and life, and be simple. That's why there is no script here, and we just go with the flow. And of course, like as I say, my tongue sometimes somehow stays behind the teeth. That's fine. That's me. And so we are going to have this just on conversation, Joyce, every last Thursday of the month, 1 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Europe time, because I'm in Norway, you are in Scotland. So Scottish time combined with Norway every last Thursday of the month. Even if we will be somewhere out of the country, we will still do this at least for 10 minutes.
We will. Yes, we will. I'm in.
That's it.
I'm all in.
Yeah, definitely. So I am going now to uh, thank everyone who's watching, and of course you are welcome to watch this recording. The energy still be there, our best thoughts will be there, and what we are going to do as well, Joyce, we are going to share our details in the chats or in the comment section on each platform when we finish this. So I will do a bit of posting, because if they want to contact us, they always can. They can always book a session with us, you and me or me, and of course, if they have some life changing solutions, they also can share that with us, and we
And
can
actually, we
then
could answer
air
their
this.
questions. That could be something else we
Absolutely,
do. So ask us a
absolutely.
question.
We don't have anybody asking now, but we definitely will include Q&A in the next session, in the next episodes, Q&A, and if one question or two question, and if we can answer, we will, probably we will, because as I say, we are half a century plus legends, so we have a bit of knowledge and wisdom
Just a little bit.
under our belt, a little bit, because everything changing. So again, thank you everyone. Joyce, your last thoughts, and I will
Thank
close.
you, everyone, but mostly thank you, Lolita. I'm loving this.
Thank you. Truly, I am so happy you agreed for this adventure. And definitely, we are going to do this every last Thursday of the month, and we will have even more fun. So, thank you, everyone, and
Thank
I am
you.
going to end